Hello, everybody. Welcome to Rewind and Reflect, the evolution of a friendship, where we believe in the universal truth that nothing happens by mistake or coincidence, and we are here to share our story on that with you. And my name is Deb Miller.
Hi, everybody. I am Susan Doyle. Well, Deb, you're
Susan.
back, and Debbie, you're back in Florida, yeah?
Yes, I am back in Florida, and
Is it 150 gazillion degrees outside?
it's pretty hot. It's pretty warm, but um it's manageable. The water here, however, is 91 degrees, which is not okay.
Yeah,
That
no,
it
that's like,
Well, for environmentally, it's really not okay because
oh,
not only
bacteria.
yeah, we can get red tide that comes in, but also it is just trouble when it comes to the storms. The
Oh,
storms love warm water, so they just get to it and it just turns into massive problems. So,
hurricanes, yeah? Hurricanes?
major hurricanes, and that's not good. So, yes, global warming at its best.
Yeah, huh?
Um,
It is dry and beautiful here.
oh, well, la di da.
Um, Like I have a sweatshirt on, like it's dry, like the windows are open. It feels fantastic. And the smoke coming down from Canada kind of has dissipated. So there's like
Yeah.
a weird haze over New England and probably upstate New York for quite a bit of time, due to some fires in Canada. So,
Yeah, when I was in Connecticut, I was there for a couple of those days, and
mhm.
yeah, it was definitely hazy, but it made the moon look so beautiful in
Yeah,
the sun.
yeah.
Um,
Can you
but
believe that it's like first week of
August,
August is
I
like
know,
done?
I know, I know. It goes by quick, but this is the endless summer here in Florida, so
Do you
I
still feel like when you get to like mid to end of August, like you got to gear up for back to school? Like that has not gotten out of my DNA from having kids that went back to school, obviously.
Yeah, I would have felt I don't notice seasons here. Like for instance, the kid if you had asked me last week, like, are the kids in Florida still in school? I'd be like, yeah, I think so. Like I don't even know when they're out. Every day is just summer. So
Yeah.
they do go back this week, though, I was told, and I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah, they
that's
go
so
back like
early.
it's weird. Like some of the women that
Yeah,
I work with who are West,
yeah,
their kids are already back in school. I'm like, whatever happened to waiting till Labor Day? And like, oh, we don't do that. They go back and then they'll have like a fall break and a winter, and it's not 360, it's not 12 months, but it's like they don't have a full like 3 month summer like we used to have.
right. No, 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 they don't.
I mean, I
Um,
guess it's better if you're working that it's easier that way, but
Yeah,
still,
I
I
know.
don't know.
It's but I want to just touch on my name, Debbie. Debbie, it sounds so bizarre. When I was in high school, obviously, I was known as Debbie Lawless.
Yes,
Did I call myself Debbie or did I call myself Deb?
Debbie.
I did. I would
Yeah, because you put a
say,
little heart over the I when you signed your
that's
name.
right. Yeah, yeah. Because as we've been talking about, I've been reconnecting with a lot of people from my past life, and they refer to me as Debbie.
Yeah.
And so I don't know
And
when
I am
that
Sue. I'm not
changed.
Susan.
You're Sue.
I'm
Eh, eh,
always Sue, and I really am still Sue. But truth be told, I refer to myself as Susan because my husband's ex-wife is named Sue, and
oh,
so I have purposely
change that. I would too.
changed to Susan.
Yeah.
Just more so, like when we're in like a combined
Setting.
family event,
Hmm.
when she's not around, his family will call me Sue. My family's called me Sue, and my friends have called me Sue forever and ever. Amen.
Well, as you know, one of the people that I met this summer again, is our friend Jennifer.
Mm-hmm.
And she said to me, she didn't know that you and I had kind of gone our separate ways for all that time.
Mm-hmm.
But so she was like, "What? She's like, it was always Sue and Debbie, Sue and Debbie, Sue and Debbie. Sue. Wherever you saw Sue, you saw Debbie. Wherever you saw Debbie, you saw Sue. And I was like, wow, she calls me Debbie too. So I
If
don't know
you
why.
polled,
Yeah.
if you polled our high school slash middle school friends on
Yeah.
Facebook, I can guarantee you 95% of the people will say Debbie.
Yeah. So
Guarantee it. I would bet money on it.
somewhere along the line, I decided to go by Deb. And then at one time in my career life, I decided to go by Deborah. So I'm still trying to find my identity apparently, and what name I feel fits me. Um, it's just, I don't know why I felt the need to change, but I did.
Yeah.
And and maybe I'll go, I don't know, maybe I'll go back to Debbie. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Anyways, so what's new with
Well, so
you?
I think there was times too in my career, more my teaching career, that there must have been other Sues on the schedule.
Mm,
So I did sometimes use Susan professionally.
right, just to
Now I
clarify
use
that.
Susan professionally all the time.
Mm, because
Um,
you're all grown up. You grew up, I went backwards.
so grown up. Not really. Not really.
No, you're still my,
Yeah, so let me ask you something. Jen was always Jen. Is she still Jen or is she Jennifer? Because you referred to
oh
her as
yeah, I
Jennifer.
did. Well, I referred to her as Jennifer because when I got together with her, that my other good friend Jen Batchelder was there, and so to
Hmm.
differentiate when I would ask one of them a question, I just said Jennifer,
Oh, got
and
it.
so I don't know, but it's funny how we all change our names, our or whatever our identities. Like if
Because Jen Batchelder has always been Jen to me. Because
yeah,
I knew
Jen,
her,
yeah,
I mean, from growing up, right?
yeah,
So, I'm not going to give her maiden name, but and her sister was always Liz. And then
yeah,
I see her sister on social media
yeah.
as Elizabeth. I'm like, who the fuck is Elizabeth? It was always Jen and Liz. Jen and Liz,
Yeah.
Jen and Liz were the twins.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's funny how we
interesting.
go through different stages in our lives and we identify with ourselves differently, you know?
Kevin's high school nickname has stuck with him for his entire life.
Yeah, Bone Malone.
Bone Malone. I love
Yeah,
him. I just
yeah.
love him.
He's a good egg. He's
Yeah.
currently it's a guys' weekend this weekend with him and
Oh,
his friends from high school. So, well,
thank
many
God
of
you're
them
down
you
there and
know.
he's somewhere else.
Oh, I could not get far enough away from that whole scene.
My
No.
girlfriend Darcy, her husband still to this day goes on like a high school guys fishing trip.
Yeah.
And she is just like, just stays as far
Yeah.
away
Yeah.
from wherever they are
Yeah.
as humanly possible.
Same. I just yeah, it's great. I think, and here's something that maybe we should talk about this today. Like it's some people hold on to their friendships from
Yes.
and they're so good at maintaining their friendships and keeping their friendships going. Like,
I am not one of those people, or I wasn't. Let me rephrase that. I wasn't up until this phase of my life.
right, right,
We'll
right, right.
call it past midlife,
Past
Debbie.
you can call it whatever you want, but if you
I'm just
live
going to
to a
call it
hundred
late
and
50s.
yeah, I mean, let's just call it the best years. Okay. I'm in the best years right now.
A to the man. Like it
Yeah.
is really I definitely agree the best years. They're the most liberated. I'm
Yeah.
going to say this that for me, they are the most liberated, authentic years of my life.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And I think maybe that's what fuels me to reconnect.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Right.
mean? Because I've learned so much. And it's so great that we brought this up because I have somebody in my life that's going through a divorce. not a amicable one, right? I mean,
Okay, yeah.
so truth be told, and maybe my ex-husband would say something differently, but our divorce was very amicable. It was sad. It was a
Mm-hmm.
sad ending. But like we didn't really hate each other. We really
Mm,
did not hate each other. We I wouldn't say like I'm not going to call him and meet him for a drink today,
mm-hmm.
but I look back with fondness. I look back without venom or poison. We really kind of just respected the fact that it had come to the end of the line,
Mm-hmm.
right? So when I was talking to this person in my life this morning, texting, but I call it talking, they were indicating to me that, I was just trying to say like, listen, the only thing that you can do is keep your side of the street clean and like don't, nothing good comes of speaking ill about your children's mother or father,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, it's just, and so they were saying that, yeah, they're able to do that, but the other person really is not able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just saying to this person, like, that's on them, like not on you.
Yeah.
And so he was saying that some of the people that they were friends with, or he thought were their friends, are kind of pulling away, or people in the community are maybe
Stepping back.
quasi choosing sides, or maybe
Mm,
just listening to one side of the story and not the other kind of thing. And I wrote him back and I said, not everybody that comes into your life is meant to stay.
mm-hmm.
But there are people that are really good at it and evolve with each other.
Right. Yeah.
I never had that. I didn't have those skills when I was
To
younger.
to evolve with people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I know. It's not easy. And I don't think most people do have those skills because, we change so much every time we hit some kind of milestone. And it might even be the way that we're raising children differentiates us from our friends, right? Like if you're, if I'm letting my kid be his, you know, oh, that he's allowed to do whatever he wants. He needs to find his own way. I'm not putting any, and you're like, get your kid under control. Like that right away can separate friendships, right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
so, but it always amazes me that when I see people, and I'll say Kevin is an example, who has stayed so loyal to his friends throughout the year. I mean, yeah, throughout the years since high school. He's got
Yeah.
multiple friends and makes a point of calling them regularly, getting together, scheduling trips or whatever. And, they're not doing it to him. They're not calling and, doing it. He makes the effort and they all love that because they don't need to. They just show up and those friendships are maintained. Um, he doesn't get caught up in I'm the only one reaching out. I'm the only one doing this. He's just like, I don't care about that. I just want my, of continued friendships in my life. And so
You just froze big
I
time.
did. Oh
Yeah.
no,
Oh, it's my internet connection is unstable. I'm unstable.
you're
Okay,
unstable.
so you were saying that Kevin
He always
the
makes,
um
yeah, he's the
is the
one
one
that,
who's always sort
yeah.
of initiating and they don't do it to him, and I guess
Yeah.
he's okay with that.
He's totally okay with it. He's like, I don't care about that. I just want you to get together with my friends and have fun. Where I would be
And
like,
how is
hey,
he accepted, so how does he accept the evolution of people? I mean, we are all very different from high
yeah.
school. So when they all get together, do they go back to being in high school, or do they accept the universal changes that
I,
everybody went through.
I think when they get together, they all just revert back to being in high school. It's just a free for all. But
Yeah,
they, they're just there for each other, and it's just to have fun. And whereas women, we need more of the emotional connection. We need more of the, like, you know, I need to know that you're going to show up when I need
right,
you,
right.
and
Yeah.
if you don't, then here's the thing. And I've said this before on this podcast, like there are just some people that are not capable of being there for the big things. They just aren't. They don't know how to do it. They don't know how. It makes them uncomfortable, whatever it might be. And especially when you're going through a divorce, that's when you find out really who is going
Yeah.
to show up, because
Yeah.
it's messy and there's daggers being thrown. And as a bystander, you don't want to get in the middle of that, or the person that's spewing their mouth about what's going on, that's like drama, and people love a
Right.
good drama, and they love
Yeah.
a good, oh my God, I can't believe this and I can't believe that. And so they're not going to turn to the one that has the
It's not talking.
right, that's not
Exactly.
talking, because what fun is that? I mean, it's very, very
Right.
sad, you know. But and it's the mature thing to just keep your mouth shut and try to keep it private, most importantly for your children. Hunter was only 2 when I got divorced, so he doesn't, whatever, he didn't remember any of that. But I was very angry, and I needed to justify to everybody why I was leaving him. And
Mm.
so, and it wasn't
So
right of
would
me.
you volunteer the information or would people ask and then you would have diarrhea of the mouth?
Yeah. Well, part of it was at first, everybody kind of knew. They knew, they could see what was happening, and they were fearful of my safety. But for the people who didn't know, oh, I'm so sorry that this is happening. And I would be like, well, he's this, that, and the other thing. But
Mm-hmm.
meanwhile, I was in my active addiction. I was getting
Mm-hmm.
arrested. I was all of that. So, I was hiding in a way, but then I also wanted to protect my reputation, which was
Right.
ridiculous. Um, it wasn't until really, I got myself clean and sober that I could, take my part in it. But yeah, I mean, it's a justification thing. It's a, nobody wants to be the person that's ruining the family and tearing apart the family, right? So you have to have good reason to do that. So that's when you're going to, get on your soapbox and say, I'm divorcing him because blah, 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 blah. Because
Yeah.
everybody's going to say, well, how about are the kids okay? What about the kids? What about the kids? That's an awful year for them to, that age is terrible for you guys to be splitting. So the person that's, is pulling the trigger has to
Yeah. Yeah.
justify what
Yeah.
they're doing.
But
Right,
I
wrong, or
think,
different.
what I said to this person this morning, I said, go where you're welcomed.
Mm-hmm.
It may be a completely different table
Yeah.
than you thought you were ever going to sit at. You know what I'm saying? But, and I think he's doing it. I think he's doing it and it's super hard. It's super hard.
It's
Um,
it's very, very
but
difficult.
there's this saying that I've seen, and I'm sure it was on social media, something about there's people that come into your life to stay. There's people that come in to teach you something or and things like that. And I do believe that, at least for me, there's been people in my life that really taught me something. There are people in my life that were there left and for good reason are back. More importantly, I think, for me, I almost, I just didn't know who I was. Like I mean, I didn't even know what I had to bring to the table.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I was just so closed, and it wasn't until I opened myself up, and it wasn't until I got divorced that happened. So I mean, really applaud people who get married in their 20s and can go and can grow together
Hmm.
through the decades.
Yeah,
It's
because
mind blowing
we change
because
so
I
much.
don't know how to do that.
Yeah, I know. We change so much.
Yeah.
And so they have to, you have to learn to accept the person that you're with
Yeah.
and your friends, like for who they are, know their
Yeah.
strengths, know their weaknesses, keep your expectations low and your gratitude high, I always say, because
True.
even though that one person might not be there to lift you up off the floor, they're bringing something else to your life that you really need. So
Agreed.
you don't want to, throw the
Yeah.
baby out with the bathwater. And
Yeah. Like everybody's got a place. Everybody's got, a purpose. I shouldn't even say place, a purpose in being there
yeah,
or
they're
not.
right. Well, they're part of the script that we write for our life, as
Yeah.
producers, we place people in our lives for
Yeah.
specific reasons. And but the hard part for us is to understand, even though we've already written the movie and we're just playing it out right now, we don't know why we put those specific people in our life at our time, because these
Hmm.
are things that we need to learn by, but they're meant to be there. 100% they're
Correct.
meant to be there.
Correct.
And
And
so,
back and truly back to, why we started this is it's not a coincidence that they're there.
no, right.
It's,
Or a
the
mistake.
universe is place or a mistake,
Yeah.
and I said to this person this morning, I said, listen, you have everything is an experience. Everything.
Hmm.
Nothing's a mistake. You have good things and you sometimes have not so good things. You have good behavior and sometimes you have not so good behavior.
Hmm.
But all those experiences teach you something
Right.
about yourself and about others.
Right.
So if you stay awake and you stay present, you learn where people fit.
Hmm.
And you can't hold on. I mean, I think we talked several weeks ago about an experience that there was somebody in your life recently that you thought was going to be there forever and in that same dynamic, and that changed.
Hmm.
And it was kind of hurtful,
Hmm.
stung a little bit, right? But then you
Hmm.
kind of looked at it through a different lens and you came back to me and you said, I guess we were not meant to be in each other's lives at this present moment.
That's right. And I don't know why, but I know that I will know. It
Right, you
will,
have to accept the fact that you don't know why right now.
I don't know why, but I know that I will eventually know why, because it always turns out that way.
Right,
The end of the movie, you would look back and go,
right.
oh, that's why that had to happen then.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
part.
So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. And it's the other thing I want to touch on is, your friend who's going through this divorce. When you're going through a hard time like that, it's so important that we think about how our children are seeing how we react to a situation like this,
mhm,
because there are going to be times in their life where they're going to be in a tough situation, and they're watching how their parents
yeah,
behave, and
yep,
so we have to remember that we're teaching them how to behave in for future experiences that they're going to encounter.
Well, you know what I said this morning was be the example.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Just be the example.
Yeah.
You know, either that can take on a couple of different meanings. You could be the example that you needed to see
Mm-hmm.
as your younger self,
Mm-hmm.
but also be the example for the people who are watching you,
Yeah, that's right.
who you are responsible for launching into the universe,
Yeah.
launching into the world as human beings.
Yeah. Because kids watch every
Yeah.
move we make,
Yeah.
and they are watching it. And I remember when Hunter first got sick, um, he made a comment one day about how my mother handled her cancer. And you never heard her complain. She was always grateful for the good days. And so he mirrored that,
Mm-hmm.
he really was like, and he was probably 6 or 7 when she went through her thing, but he remembered it. He
Yeah.
remembered how she behaved during it. And that's
Mm-hmm.
how he wanted to be too. Like, okay, I can handle this, and
Yeah.
so you never know when your kids are going to need to mirror your behavior in a tough
Yeah.
situation, no matter how young or old they are.
And here's the other thing, like I think I can only use the example of my pulling away from you years ago. Um, was a teaching moment for my kids. Like what, because they were with me in Wally World that day when we
Yes,
saw each
reconnected.
other. And they were like asking me about you
Mm,
and why we're not, this and that and the other thing. And, it was an opportunity for me to say, like, hey, listen, like I made a mistake. Like I wanted so out
mm,
of Avon and this box that I was in that I just left everybody behind.
mhm,
And it was like nothing that she did. It was, and so it was a great teaching moment that again,
mhm,
it wasn't a mistake, but it was something, it was an experience that, I was able to learn from and teach them about.
right. Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, I think, what we really need to walk away with this conversation is when like, I don't know, we talked about so many different things. We talked
I
about how
know.
to
Mm.
remain friends with, like, I think that's really honorable when you have friends from your high
Agreed.
school
Agreed. I
years.
mean, I think it is. I mean, I was very incapable of doing that. And I feel like that when people can do that, they are much more secure with who they are than I ever was.
Yeah, right, right,
I
right.
think that I framed that up for myself that way.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I wouldn't have wanted people, I think I wouldn't have wanted people to really take an inside look at my life during all those years. You know,
No, no.
even yes, because you want your outsides to look better than your
Yeah.
insides. So
And here's the other thing. I think there's a level of conscious avoidance
mhm,
because those people, like I knew, maybe you knew, or I knew like that I couldn't call you out on your bullshit.
mhm,
Like I knew that you would have called me out on my bullshit. And so like you surround yourself with people that don't really know you. So
mhm.
they
That's right. That's right.
add to your story in a way that you want to hear it,
Mhm, mhm.
you know?
Yeah, the way you want to hear it. That's so
Yeah.
right.
You
Yeah,
know?
and I didn't want anybody to see what was really happening because I was ashamed. I was
Right.
ashamed. And
Right.
you think everybody that you graduate high school and college with has these amazing lives, but it's not always true. And
Right.
there are people who have these incredibly in sync lives and relationships that are great, and they've held on to their high school and college friends.
Yeah.
I know a lot of them, I do. But I couldn't do it. And so
Me either.
anyways, now I make the phone calls, I send out the text messages, I check in with people. I don't get much back. I mean, like, I'll get responses, but I'm usually the one that's really making the first effort, and that's okay. I don't care about that. What matters to me is that that person knows that they're being thought about, and
Correct. Correct.
that's
But
all
you're
that matters
secure
to me.
enough in yourself that you don't have an agenda. You don't have
Right.
an expectation of how it's going to go when you reach out. And when I was younger, I remember when I got divorced and I had one friend that knew me before I had even gotten married.
Yeah.
And she said, "Oh my God, you're back." So like the people that I shed
Yeah.
id during that time
Yeah. Shutted.
would have noticed the change in me
Hmm.
and would have called me out and said, "You're not who, this is not you,"
Yeah.
you know?
I don't know if I would have called you out because I feel like I've always been a little scared of you.
I get that a lot.
I'm not scared of you anymore.
I get
Now
that a lot. I'm just
I
very
would,
direct. I'm
I would,
very direct. And that
yeah.
has come to bite me in the ass sometimes.
Well, it's not your directness. Okay. And again, this is from years ago, right? Because now I feel we're very close that I can say anything to you.
Oh God, here we go.
But I do remember the times when it was like you would just not want to hear it, you would
Yeah,
just no. And so I never really felt that that I could approach you in a way that to say, like, what is up with you? If I did, I probably would have said to you at some of those months in high school when you had clocked out, I would have said to you, what is going on? But I was afraid
yeah,
of you, so I didn't, because I just felt like you would have been
yeah,
like
I get it.
wearing the t-shirt that just says fuck off. But that's not who you are anymore, you are.
No,
So
no,
whatever.
I've worked very hard not to be that person.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
person was just a scared girl.
Protecting herself. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah,
That's all it
yeah,
is, and now again, because we're at the age we're at, we can be truthful about who we are and what we need in a relationship,
yes.
friendship, whatever it may be.
Mid to late 50s is where it's at.
The best years. We're in the best years. All right, my dear.
I love you.
I
Love
love
you,
you
love
too.
you.
Love everybody. Namaste, dear friends.
Namaste.